Okay, hi guys. And today we're doing another one of those key games to how teams are going to win. Last week, of course, the game we're starting off with is the Bucks and the Falcons. But last time they did this, like I did with the Lions, it was awful, bad game. Wasn't expecting them to win it or even execute it right, but it still was bad. So either way, let's get actually into the Bucks and Falcons game. So Falcons offense starting off. So let's just see. Their offense, Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley. I don't know if Julio's going to be back, but let's just assume he won't. And same with the thing Todd Gurley's back. Either way, they're not going to be able to run the ball, and the Bucks already clinched a playoff spot. So I don't know what they're supposed to do. It's still meaningful because if the Rams win and they lose, the Rams are going to have the number 5 seed. So I'm guessing they're still not going to rest any of their starters. They might toward the end of the game if it's not close. But either way, Falcons, Matt Ryan, he's a good quarterback. Trust him. Maybe take a couple deep shot against this young secondary. You're not going to have much success running the ball unless you start to wear them out, which might be really tough. But if you do actually wear them out, then it might start to work. But you probably want to do play action and throw the ball on like easy screens, stuff like that, and get the ball to your playmaker Calvin Ridley, and probably Hayden Hurst. He's had a good year too. So do that for the offense. Defensively, they did a really good job against the Chiefs last week. So their secondary played so well. Kendall Sherfield shut down Tyreek Hill when they were against each other. But the thing is, their defense played the way I think they could have if they really executed, and they did. The thing is about the Bucks, though, they have so many good tight ends, wide receivers, and running backs that I don't have to count for all of them. So if Antonio Brown slicks out, it's not going to be good. So they have to do the same thing they did last week with cover responsibilities and really do a good job. And I know the Bucks are going to make a couple mistakes because they have, and they haven't gotten away with them. So if they do that, then they will get it done, and they will have another good defensive week. But it depends on how it is. It could be the complete opposite. Bucks defense, they got to really get on Calvin Ridley, just like any other good receiver. But they're going to get it to him because if they don't, then well, it's gonna be tough for them to score. If Julio's in there, I don't know though. So, but in Hayden Hurst, you probably want like Lavonte David or Devin White on him. And their defensive line is a little banged up. Like Vita Vea isn't in there, and they can still stop the run really well. But I think they're gonna have to bring a couple blitz packages to put on Matt Ryan, so he has to get the ball out quick. Okay, and if they do that, then they'll win. And I don't do predictions because it's very hard to predict. Just say that straight up. Cowboys offense against the Giants defense. So their defense is very inconsistent, I'd say. Depends on what defense we get from the Giants, but starting off, Michael Gallup and that receiving corps, they're able to execute a big play. It's gonna really hurt the Giants defense, but if they don't and they're just struggling to move the ball in the running game, which they still probably want to do in play action, like Andy Dalton played pretty dang well last week, but if the defense is confident, then it'll be hard for the Cowboys to move the ball. But if they're not, and like they're young, inexperienced guys, they'll be more confident. And it's gonna be harder to move the ball against the Giants defense. So if they get a big player, just like put them down and like have a long drive, it's gonna make them tired. It's gonna help their offense to score some points. And then defensively, I don't know what to say. Their defense is pretty awful, to tell you the truth. They probably want to shut down the run game because Daniel Jones can't really do much in the passing game. So they're cornerbacks who aren't too good. I think that in their defense, DeMarcus Lawrence is probably their best defensive player, or is basically. They probably want to have him be able to rush the passer in a way where he can get to Daniel Jones. And if they're going to run it, they have a really bad run defense, but if they can contain it well enough, not give up like 20-yard gains, their defense should be okay against a mediocre Giants offense. And the receivers, you probably want to, they can be pretty quick sometimes. They don't get much separation, but they can catch the ball like Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. I don't know, what about Golden Tate? And Evan Ingram's pretty fast, so the linebackers like Leighton Vander Esch should be aware of that. And if they execute this, they're probably going to give up a couple points, but they should be decent. Like, kind of like Jalen Hurts, and if they contain, and if they play, I think they have to play a little zone to get that working, so that too. Giants offense. This is kind of tough. They probably want to run the ball a lot. Offensive linemen probably want to run up the gut, not near the tackles, because you can't really trust their tackles. They're not the greatest. And then in the passing game, they probably want to get the ball out quick enough where Daniel Jones doesn't get planted in the backfield. And you might, if he's comfortable with it, you probably want to run with him because this is a winner go home game for both teams. So the Giants really need to do that. And by the way, going on to the Giants defense, they need to come up with some big plays to support Daniel Jones if they want to have even a shot at winning the division. So that too, they can still make the playoffs. It's kind of crazy, but it's the truth. So their defense has to really step up and help Daniel Jones if they want to do it. Same thing. Don't allow the big play, and just don't let any big plays. You don't want 10-yard gains either. You want to keep them just basically stop them. Come up big for Daniel Jones in that offense. Jets Patriots. This is a meaningless game, but I think the Jets are probably gonna have to play their heart out. Probably gonna play their heart out offensively. Let Sam Darnold do his thing, and same with let Frank Gore run. Or if he's not there, let the other guys run. Frank Gore played his heart out. I think he's out, but this offense is hard, and Mekhi Becton is an awesome tackle. He will be one of the best in the NFL for many years to come. But still, you want to keep this. You want to keep having that heart, because if you do, they could win. And then defensively, it's kind of tough. Quinnen Williams, try to put him in the situation where he can make a play. And then Marcus May is probably their best player besides Sam Darnold. You really want him, and probably C.J. Mosley. He's not. He opted out though. You probably want to get Marcus May and Quinnen Williams in spots where they can make a play and do stuff against this bad Patriots offense. Basically, just don't let the Patriots run it much. They're gonna run it, but if you're really physical up front and kick them in the butt, they're not gonna get anything big. And then passing the ball, they're just going to run short screens, just shut those down. It's going to be easy. Patriots offense. Cam's hopeless. His arm's dead. You probably want to, like I said, they're probably going to have to throw short passes, and they hit pound the rock up the middle. Probably not to the outside because they have good containers like Quinnen Williams. But you want to make sure you're double team Quinnen Williams so you're able to throw it fast enough. And then when you're throwing it, you probably want to run with Cam. Let him run, but you don't want to have to make him throw 20 yards down the field because he's going to throw a duck. Okay, and then defensively, blitz Darnold like heck. Make sure, you don't have any great pass rushers. Your best one is probably John Simon, maybe. Get him to the edge, put him on George Fant, the other tackle, and make sure he's not near Mekhi Becton while get shut down. And maybe get a couple sacks on Darnold. And you guys gotta play hard, even though it's probably tough. You guys aren't gonna make the playoffs. You guys aren't gonna have a winning record. If you win, Bill Belichick's gonna be happy, so you get his pride. And then Vikings Lions, another meaningless game. Lions might not be with Matthew Stafford. If they have him, then good. But the Vikings offense has to really take advantage of this awful defense. This defense is just terrible. Kind of there's some defenses you don't have a big guy who can make big plays. I don't know what to say. The defense, Jeff Okudah, you want to put Justin Jefferson on whoever, and they're probably gonna line him up with Desmond Trufant, your best cornerback. But if they get him on Jeff Okudah, Kirk Cousins, be ready. Of course, Dalvin Cook is out, so Alexander Madison's gonna have to step up. Probably want to run the ball outside zone and play action. Kirk, I think you can count on him. He can be pretty inconsistent, but if you let him do his thing and get him in rhythm, not like Jared Goff, but get him in rhythm in the right way, it'll work out. The Vikings defense is really tough to predict because they're playing an offense that might not even have Matt Stafford. Then it can be, if they have Matt Stafford, they have to put pressure on Matt because he is still a good, really, really good quarterback, even under pressure. But if you get enough pressure on him, he's going to start having to do stuff that isn't really good for him and for anyone. Their defensive line is so super banged up with their two key guys out. Of course, Danielle Hunter's been out for the whole season. Same with Michael Pierce. But their secondary, their safety should be able to do stuff. Of course, you probably want Harrison Smith to do stuff. Probably want to execute that, and then Eric Kendricks should be able to contain whoever the heck their running back is. I don't know who it's going to be. It's been random every week. And yeah, Marvin Jones Jr. is their only receiving threat, so just be, and of course, I forgot, TJ Hawkinson and Eric Kendricks should just let him be on him the whole game. There won't be anything big there if you stay on him. And okay, Lions offense. Get it to TJ Hawkinson probably. You want to keep running the ball. It kind of worked last game, except it really didn't. You had Chase Daniel quarterback. If Chase Daniel's your quarterback, get the ball out fast. You don't want to have to count on him. He's not a good quarterback. He's not a starter. He's probably not even a decent backup, to tell you the truth. So you just do that. You're probably not going to score many points because well, you might score a couple if you get the ground game going. Because look what Alvin Kamara scored more points last week than the Vikings offense did the whole game. And then, so he basically, Alvin Kamara outscored the Vikings. I'm not kidding. That actually happened. Now the Lions defense, this is really tough because their defense isn't good or not even talented. Trey Flowers, if he's healthy, I don't know if he is. He probably is, But let him rush the passer. Basically, their only pass rush. He hasn't even been that good. Everson Griffin hasn't even been. I wouldn't say he's been bad. But he hasn't been really good in any form. And he's old too. So just let those two guys do something, because they're your only playmakers on defense. I'd say maybe that's about it. And if they can get to Kirk Cousins, it's going to be tough for him, and contain that outside running game. It's going to be really tough. Safeties aren't the best. You can't trust them. That's about it for the Lions defense. And this is a really tough game to predict because you don't know what version of Vikings you're getting. Last week, but it's going to be a big, different game. And if you're going to get Matthew Stafford in there, if the Lions defense is going to get a little healthier, it depends. Now, Steelers, Browns. I think Mason Rudolph, he's going to start. You probably just want him to get it to the playmakers. I don't know. Fantasy's happening, just do that. But they're just going to sit their starters. They're just going to have to put out a couple points, trust your defense. They're just going to have to play game manager football because they're just trying to get the Browns out of the playoffs. So that's about it for their offense. Defensively, this is kind of their defense. They're taking out all their star players. They're probably just going to stop the run game, and Baker is going to have to throw it, and that might end the game. But this isn't really a big game for the Steelers. All they're really focusing on is getting the Browns out of the playoffs, making them miss the playoffs. That's probably their main goal today, or actually Sunday. But the Steelers defense just can stop the run game, which is gonna be tough. Physical offensive line, and then their secondary. Well, they just have to shut down the receivers and same with their linebacking core. And then Browns offense. You want to run the ball. You want to get in rhythm with Baker Mayfield so he can be able to sling it around the field. And make sure Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are getting their touches because they know it's going to be tough to win. And this game is one of the biggest games of the week, I have to say, for the Browns. The Steelers basically have nothing to lose. It's big for seeding, but I don't think they really care about that. Because if the Bills win, it's whatever. Browns, they have a lot to lose. So if they don't take the pressure too hard, then they'll be okay. And then defensively, Myles Garrett just needs to sack Mason Rudolph, and I think they'll be okay. Probably want to force some turnovers because we know what happened last year. He was pretty awful, or very mediocre. So that's all they have to probably do on defense: make plays and force turnovers and let Myles Garrett do his thing. Ravens Bengals. This means a lot too. Ravens, last time they played, Lamar didn't even get a chance to win. But they won like 27-3 or something. It's because their defense was so good. And they even had Joe Burrow in that game. But they probably just want Lamar to be able to run. You don't want to get him injured before the playoffs, that too. But this could be a tough game. The Bengals played really well. So offensively, probably want to get to Mark Andrews, run the ball a lot, because that defense is going to stink they're just going to start stinking up if they just keep running it. Probably going to still throw it though. Lamar play, do his thing, kind of like let him free roam. Don't interfere too much. Still want to make sure it's okay though. Defensively, their whole cornerback runs out. A couple might be good though. Well, I'd say a lot of them are questionable. Like the top 4 cornerbacks, questionable. I think 1 or 2 is gonna be back. 1 definitely. I think 1. If they don't, then well, too bad. I think it's gonna be Brandon Allen. Stop the run game because that's what won them the game last week, and make Brandon Allen have mistakes like Calais Campbell. Stop the run. It's gonna be tough for them to win. Just saying. On offense. Bengals offense, like I said, run the ball. Worked last week, and Brandon Allen let him sling it around a little. Game doesn't really mean much for you. Probably not going to be a Penei Sewell, but hey, who cares? It's just it's the last game of the season. Just beat the Ravens, get them out of the playoffs. That's what the offense should be doing. Defensively, you really want to contain Lamar and just stop that run game, and then they'll have to pass it, and it's going to be a little more predictable. So that's good for the Bengals. But they just got to, like, Geno Atkins, like, their whole defensive line is decent. I think they've underperformed. Either way, if they just stop it, and Jesse Bates, just let him get in the way of plays, because he's top 10 safety in the NFL. Do that, you guys should win. Depends, though. Dolphins, Bills. This is a really tough game. Dolphins offense. Well, the thing they did last week, I guess, worked. But Tua, he's going to probably struggle. They're not going to be able to he's probably keeping the ball game. Bills are going to score a ton of points. Well, I don't know if they're going to score a ton of points. They could, but they might not. So the Dolphins just want to keep up and probably want to be on the winning side. Brian Flores is going to find some way for Tua to be able to keep up with the Bills offense. If his defense doesn't show up, run the ball with a Hammond, whatever the heck the running back is, because you want Tua to be able to throw it. And worst case, just bring Fitz in, and he'll do Fitz magic, or he will be Fitz tragic, and your season will be over. Either way, make sure Tua is comfortable. People are like, Tua doesn't need to be comfortable. Well, if he isn't comfortable, the Bills are gonna win. I'll just say that. And then, of course, run the ball. Get it probably to Devontae Parker or any other. Mike Gesicki, definitely. That would really help. Defensively, don't let them throw to Stephon Diggs. And want to know what they should do? I have this really good. Byron Jones should be on Stephon Diggs the whole game. And Xavier Howard, with his ball skills, should be able to pick off Josh Allen if he has the right moment to. And think he can pick him off if he is in the right place. I think Josh Allen is probably going to force it to Stephon Diggs a couple times. Did it last week. If they can put Xavier Howard in the lane, he will have an interception. I can just say that. So just do that. Apply their studs on defense, and they'll be good. Because, like, their run game's never been very good this year. They're probably their biggest weakness. Bills off, and like the Bills defense has played really good this last couple of weeks, but they still underperformed immensely. And Josh Allen on offense, do what you did last week probably, because this Dolphins defense isn't much better. They force a lot of turnovers though, so they probably want to be a little more conservative. But remember, the Dolphins trying to get in the playoffs. They're going to play as hard as they can. So the Bills have to do the same, but they still got to be a little more conservative against this Dolphins defense that can force a lot of turnovers. And their running game's they have to still be able to run it, because they could turn into a Steelers type game if they can't run it. And probably want Josh Allen to run a couple times. Make sure he gets to do that, and don't play from behind. That's about it. Bills defense, like I said, they underperformed. Ed Oliver will be stuffing the run, so that's good news. But on their secondary, like, I don't know if Jordan Poyer is gonna be able to play. What I do know though is Micah Hyde should be able to make some plays. Tre'Davious White, he might be out. I don't know. And I saw he got injured pretty bad. But the Dolphins' offense is going to be pretty conservative with Tua and trying to keep him comfortable with these completions and all that. So take advantage of that. Just stop them. Keep stopping. They're not going to score if they play too conservative. So that's what I mean. And then Seahawks, 49ers, this game's almost meaningless, except not even close, because the Seahawks are trying to get the number 1 seed. It's going to be pretty unlikely, but it could still happen. Seahawks offense, don't let Russ cook. Run the ball against his injured as heck defense of the 49ers. Run the ball, Seahawks. And take some shots at DK when you're inside the 50. And let Russ cook then. Just don't make him do all this junk. It won't work. Run the ball. It worked against the Rams. They weren't explosive last week. You gotta admit, because the Rams defense played really well this season. Their defense is taking advantage of it, and that's what I have to talk about. Their defense has played amazing. Last week against the Rams, that's the worst week I've seen from the Rams all season. Yeah, you're talking about 0 points. We still scored 2 touchdowns in that game. We didn't score a touchdown this week. Or last week, I gotta say. Seahawks defense, Jamal Adams, don't blitz and don't pray. Just do the things you're doing, and you guys should beat them. Because the Rams offense is a heck lot better than the 49ers. 49ers offense, okay. I don't know who's going to be starting. It doesn't really matter. Just get the ball to George Kittle and run the ball like it's worked before. Maybe, I don't know if Debo's going to be in it. I don't think he is. But either way, run the ball and get it to George Kittle. That's all you guys have to do to probably score some points against this offense. Jamal Adams, make sure you're not near him. Carlos Dunlap's going to put pressure, and that's just not good. So make sure you get those guys out of their whoever the quarterback's face is. And defensively, can just, I don't know what to say. Jimmy Ward is probably the top 5 cover in the league, so you probably want to put Jimmy Ward on DK Metcalf or your tallest guy who it doesn't stink, and rush Wilson and contain him, and he won't be able to do anything amazing. And then stop the run. You guys have done it all year. Fred Warner, you've been amazing with that. Do that. Force a couple turnovers. You guys should win it. I'm not saying you're gonna. And it didn't end my prediction. Okay, this is the most interesting game of the week if you ask me. Rams Cardinals. It's gonna Murray starting, so that's not good. Cardinals offense, be explosive. Expose the Rams defense if you can. And you probably don't want to have to score. You probably want to play a little more conservative because in probably what Kyler Murray won, he might not be able to. Be more conservative because the Rams offense won't be able to score many points. And then Cardinals defense. Make John Wolford uncomfortable. Pressure him. Make him like, I don't want to be here. Just make him like make mistakes. Force his mistakes. He didn't make the NFL for a reason, but he's starting. So the Cardinals defense is to make them uncomfortable, and if they do that, then the Rams are going to have a tough time scoring any points. Now, I gotta give a prayer for John Wolford. Who knows? He could be I'm gonna be watching this game because I'm a Rams fan. If he can be the new hope for the Rams, like Kurt Warner did, and whoever the quarterback back when in the Steelers Super Bowl was in 1979, if that happens again, I will be thrilled. But I don't know if it's going to because I'm just trying to be realistic. They have to run the ball. I don't know if Cam Akers, Cooper Kupp's likely going to be out, so that's not good. Our best receiver, best probably weapon on offense is out. And if Cam Akers is available, run the ball. Just run it. And probably do some bootlegs. Make John Wolford have to throw easy passes. He doesn't have a good arm, but he's a great athlete. So if you put Jared Goff's arm on John Wolford, he'd be a good NFL quarterback. He doesn't have a great arm, though, and he doesn't make the best decisions. That doesn't help, but he's really fast, so maybe Sean McVay gives him a couple of running lanes. Said he's not going to change the offense, so they're probably so do the same things. But make him comfortable and let him just, I don't know, win the game for you. You don't want to have to make him carry you because it's not going to work. Rams defense, put pressure on Murray and guard Hopkins. That's about it. And stop the run game. Rams defense, just keep doing what you're going to do. And it should be a decent game. And then Jaguars, Colts. This means nothing for the Jaguars. I don't even think they care. They probably just want to beat the Colts because that would be pretty embarrassing for the Colts. The Jags' only win is against the Colts, so that would be pretty cool. But the Jags' whole team, they just got to do what they did last time they played. Literally, they won because they did everything they were supposed to. So I'm not going to tell you guys, but the Jags just got to do what they did the first game. And then the Colts have to. I got to talk about the Colts. Philip Rivers, you can't turn it over. Just saying. Give it to Jonathan Taylor. O-line, keep playing the way you have the past couple of weeks, or last 5 weeks, to tell you the truth. Do that, they'll be good. Defensively, same thing. Just don't give up any big plays against the Jaguars. And you guys should definitely win this, to tell you the truth. I'm not making a prediction, I'm just saying they should win it. Titans, Texans. This was the first game they played really close. That was a great game. I watched the film. It was really good. Titans, give it to Derrick Henry. Make sure Ryan Tannehill doesn't struggle like he did last week at moments. And, yeah, their defense can't stop the run. Just keep it away from J.J. Watt and they'll be fine. Titans defense. Okay, they can't really do much. It's going to be tough to stopping whoever their quarterback is. I don't think it'd be Deshaun Watson. The Texans season's over, but you don't want to get upset against the Texans. Like, no one wants to. Okay, so basically just beat the Texans on defense. Force turnovers, make whoever their quarterback is. If it's Deshaun Watson, new game plan, but I don't think he's going to be healthy. He might be, or whatever. Don't think he's going to be healthy. So just stop them. Defensively for offensively for the Texans. Don't know who your quarterback's going to be. Probably just run the ball and do some stuff that isn't going to make you lose badly or maybe even win. Texans defense. Get J.J. Watt on Ryan Tannehill and make him stop Derrick Henry. Should be a decent game. And their linebacking core, they have a really good linebacking core. So it should be decent for them to be able to cover the tight ends and on those in runs. But he's probably just going to run all over your defense like he did last time if he gets a chance to. So just contain Henry basically and don't want Ryan Tannehill taking a deep shot to A.J. Brown like he did last game. And then Raiders Broncos. This is actually a really dumb game because the game's meaningless. Raiders offense, run the ball with Jacobs, and don't make any dumb mistakes. Let Derek Carr throw it. This defense isn't too good, and that's about it. And when you get in the red zone, you probably want to score quickly because the Broncos defense, besides 2 games ago, has been really good in the red zone. Raiders defense, they're just awful. Like top 5 worst defenses I've ever seen in this year. They're just not good. You can't let Fitzmagic throw. You can't no look pass face mask down the field like 15 yards deep. It was just really bad. But he's playing Drew Lock, who's a pretty horrific quarterback. I gotta admit, he's been really inconsistent. He's not good. Do what you did last time against him. He threw 4 interceptions. Make him throw 6 this time. Game it doesn't really mean anything, but let the defense get their confidence back for next year. Just let them remember that, because if they do, they should be good. Broncos offense, run the ball. It worked last time. It didn't really work, but still. Want to do some good stuff there. It doesn't really mean much, but still. Drew Lock probably want to get some slings in there. It's going to be tough, though, because their defense is just going to make you throw a lot of interceptions like last game. It worked. I don't know. They're just going to have to probably not want to turn over the ball. That's about it for their offense. Defensively, Broncos defense. Don't want to get in the red zone. You don't want to break your streak. Either way, though. They probably just want... if they stop the Raiders, it might actually be a close game. It depends, though. So if they just do their job and be conservative on defense, don't blitz like aggressively like Greg Williams, it should be a decent game. Chargers, Chiefs. The Chiefs are just gonna rest all their starters, so yeah. Chargers offense. Let the scoreboard make the Chiefs defense look bad. That's about it. They can with Justin Herbert. Probably want to keep running it just to not be too predictable. Justin Herbert, just let him keep growing and learning and turning out to be a really good quarterback. I gotta admit that. Defensively, Chiefs offense is going to be bad. I can just say that. Chargers just try to get that confidence and try to remember their old defense and blitz, put some pressure, and play defense. Basically, good defense. Chiefs offense, run the ball. Chad Henne can throw some balls. It doesn't really matter. They're not trying to win. They're just trying to, I don't know, get the game through. It's basically their bye week. Mahomes is probably not going to start. But the Chiefs are just going to be like, hey, sitting down on my couch. I'm just going to be watching the game, basically. But still, they're just going to keep the Chargers should just take advantage of the Chiefs' offense. But back to the Chiefs offense. The Chiefs offense has to probably score a couple points. Either way, I don't think they're looking to win. So, yeah. It would be cool for them to go 15-1, though. Chiefs defense. Contain their offense, because Chargers offense gets rolling. It's not going to be stopped, just saying. Packers, Bears. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting game. Packers offense. Do the same thing you've been doing. Make just make the Packers defense look bad. Just saying. The Bears have a really good defense. Their pass rush probably could get to Rodgers a couple times, but still, you want to keep doing the same thing you're doing, and it will work. Like running the ball occasionally, throwing it to Adams, and let Rodgers cook. No, don't let him cook. Just let Rodgers do his thing. And defensively, stop the run, which is going to be tough because the Bears running game has been awesome. But they just got to keep doing what they've been doing. Stopping the run. They don't force any turnovers. That's the only bad thing. Do that. They forced 2 or 1 pick from Tannehill last week. Well, they started to force some turnovers last week. But either way, the Packers defense just got to probably stop the run and make Mr. Trubisky stink. Their offense, keep doing the same. Bears offense, stop. Just let Mitchell Trubisky and the offensive coordinator keep doing the same thing because it worked, and give it to David Montgomery. He's played awesome this year. Defensively, sack Rodgers, stop Adams, which they can do. They could really double if they double him up with Kyle Fuller, who's a really good boundary corner, very aggressive with Eddie Jackson. It should be okay, but their defense really, really, really has to step up if they want to make the playoffs. Well, not the playoffs, because they should make it, but if they lose, it could be, whatever. And, yeah, they basically just want to win the game, and that's about it. They're just going to have to play their heart out. Packers, doesn't really matter. They're still trying to protect the number 1 seed. Saints, Panthers. Saints offense, don't make Drew Brees have to throw and win it for you. Last time these two played, in last year, week 17, it was a blowout and they just pulled their starters, so it was an easy game. Saints offense, just score points. Let Alvin Kamara score 7 touchdowns again. That would be really cool. Their Panthers defense is so bad. It's gonna work if they actually will be able to do it. Saints defense, please don't do anything stupid like they did last game. They did one bad thing and it didn't really help. But Saints defense, just keep playing the way you have. Like Cameron Jordan, that whole D line, do your thing. Defense, I don't know about their secondary. I haven't really seen their secondary do anything amazing. But it's worked, so I don't know. And yeah, just do that. Panthers offense. Get the ball out of Teddy Bridgewater's hands. It doesn't work if you don't. And Mike Davis is probably going to be out, so you're not going to have a really good running back in. So when you run it, just make sure you're hoping it doesn't turn out bad. Panthers defense. I don't know what to say, but they're probably going to pull their start if it turns out to be a blowout. So don't make that happen. Probably just stop the run and make sure Breeze doesn't throw it 2 yards downfield like he usually does. And maybe the Panthers win. Not going to happen, but maybe. Now Sunday Night Football. Game of the week. It's not the game of the week, but either way. Football team. If they have Alex Smith, so let's just say 2 scenarios. Offense, football team offense. No Smith. Probably going to get Gibson back. Run the ball with Gibson. Throw the ball against the defense. Test them to make sure they're not just testing the box. Like, Henneke, Taylor Henneke, like, I can throw a deep hit. I can throw it. Yeah, touchdown, losers. Yeah, so that's all they have to do. If Alex Smith is in, get it to the tight end. Alex Smith is very stable at the quarterback position for the football team. They can trust him a lot more than you can Chad Henneke or whoever the heck the guy's name is. And you give it to Gibson. Test that Eagles defense. And then defensively, destroy Jalen Hurts. Their D-line will get to Jalen Hurts every single play. Defensive secondary, defensive backs, whatever. Pick it off, because Jalen Hurts doesn't have the greatest arm. He's played what they probably wanted. He threw 2 picks last week against the Cowboys defense. Just make him pay. That's all you have to do, and you probably want to ruin the football team's chances. Keep playing football team defense, and it'll work. The run game's not going to be a big deal, because they should be able to stop it. If they don't, then, okay. Eagles offense. Throw checkdowns every single play. It's not going to work if they want to throw it deep because they'll just get sacked every play. And Jalen Hurts don't have to getting too many hits because it's going to be bad. Their offensive line is not too good. Might want to run actually a couple of read options. I want to see how they're going to be able to contain because they haven't really done that. They just run it right up the middle and just swarmed around quarterback when it's actually worked. And he's probably going to throw a couple picks. Jalen Hurts, you don't want to throw him a couple picks actually. And Miles Sanders, he's a receiving back. You probably want to get him out to it, and he'll catch it and just make a couple misses and then do it. But I'm going to keep running it, though, because you don't want to be too predictable. Play action might help, too. Eagles defense. If it's Heineke in there, pressure will help. Any coach would say this. If you put pressure on the quarterback, it doesn't matter who the heck it is. Well, it does. If you put pressure on a quarterback who is just a backup, it will work it'll just work because these guys can't evade the rush unless they're just a miracle worker. They're not going to be able to evade the rush that well. And they probably want to force some turnovers too. That would really help. And Alex Smith is in, then we'll just hold on because it could be tough. Yeah, so this video has been really long. I'm sorry if these videos have been really long. It's really hard to do them slower and not slower, quicker. So, yeah, that's going to be it for the keys to the game for Week 17. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. And I know some people who watch these videos don't subscribe. Please subscribe. It would be really nice. And like, of course. Leave a comment if you want to. You don't have to, but definitely like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.